When you look back on the Florida film and how you guys handled Anthony Richardson, what coaching points from that game are brought into this game with Jaden Daniels' similarities?
That's a great question. They're very similar, different body types. Obviously Anthony a little heavier. He's in the 230 plus range. Jaden is probably a little slighter, but still runs as hard and is as elusive. We obviously didn't do as great of a job as we wanted to versus Anthony, so that's been a big point of emphasis for us is trying to keep the quarterback contained. But he's a super talented kid. They probably had a couple more design runs the last game. Obviously, trying to take advantage of his elusiveness. But we have to do a great job. I think they're comparable as as athletes and as runners. But obviously, Anthony, being a little bigger, it might be a little bit more of a between the tackles guy, where Jaden's probably a little bit more off tackle.
Wes, then Vince.
Right, last year
There was a mic to you for the audio.
Right, there was a game last year where someone had played y'all maybe just after playing Ole Miss, so there was talk of the offenses being similar, and that would maybe help the team that was playing y'all. Can it be the same thing if you face a quarterback like a Jaden Daniels after you play an Anthony Richardson? I mean, can some of that stuff, playing them right after the other, can some of that stuff help in terms of retention and things you need to know?
Obviously there's carryover. Every week you expect there to be some carryover. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Most people watch film and they try to take advantage of what they see was a possible weakness from the previous opponent. So anything that they thought the opponent did well, I'm pretty sure they'll try to capitalize on in some way. So there's always things that we have to get corrected. So we always look at ourselves first and what we can correct. But obviously, with another athletic quarterback, we feel like we have some things in place to try to contain them. But a lot of their plays, just like Richardson last week, come off of broken plays. That's what makes those guys special. They have design runs, but if it's a pass play and it turns into a scramble scenario, you get a chance to see some of their athletic ability. So you can practice and plan for it. But when you have high-level athletes like obviously Richardson and then the Daniels kid this week, you have to be able to overcome some of those broken plays when there was a pass play that was actually called.
Two things asked separate. One, out of some of those breakdowns defensively in the passing game against Florida, how much of that responsibility came on your group with the linebackers and pass coverage?
I always say it's everybody's responsibility. Everybody sees the DBs that's, obviously in the one-on-one situation with the ball get thrown down the field, but they don't see, if there was a pass rush error up front, a blitz error from a linebacker, some of the underneath coverages that we were in and we didn't do a good job. So we take full responsibility because there was a couple of times there were blitzes that weren't, executed at a high level, and then we gave the quarterback, too much time to sit in the pocket, or it was a scramble scenario where we didn't do a great job of latching. So it's always all 11. I know everybody sees the end result, but we always put it on the entire defense. Like I said, the best pass defense, in the world is a great pass rush. So we are trying to hone in on that and do a better job in that regard. And we have to do a better job linebacker-wise as far as some of our underneath coverages.
And what do you see from LSU's running backs?
The running backs are super talented. I think it's one of the better groups that we played. So far going into game 5 as a collective group, they rotate 3 guys. The young man that took the majority of the reps the first couple of games, Goodwin, is out. But between the Emory kid, the Williams kid, and obviously Noah Kane, I think they're all interchangeable. All run extremely hard. They're downhill. They break a lot of arm tackles, and they're going to be a big time challenge for us. And the part about them, they're integral part of the passing game. They like to get those guys the balls in the flats and let them do their work, like almost an extended handoff. So it's going to be a challenge because they're going to test us from sideline to sideline, but they do run hard. They're a good group.
Jimmy and Brent.
I forgot what game I was watching, but there was a team that was going against a mobile quarterback, and they told all the defensive linemen, don't rush beyond the quarterback to contain him. Is that a philosophy that you believe in?
We always talk about rush lanes with our D linemen, and I can't just say the D line, linebackers and the DBs that blitz. That's like I said, another point of emphasis where we want to be a pressure team. So we don't necessarily want to, have a fence at the line of scrimmage because we don't want to give them a lot of times. But we do stress the rush lanes. We're not rushing past the quarterback or giving up inside gaps. So that is something we talk about all the time, and that is a point of emphasis this week. So we are going to try to keep him in the pocket. I mean, obviously that's easier said than done because he's so talented. But that is a point of emphasis for us in trying to stay in front of him and not end up, behind him in our pass rushes.
Coach, with the fact that the RPO stuff, mobile quarterbacks, balls in the flat to receivers, a downhill run game, how hard in college football right now is playing the linebacker position with the way the game's played?
It's a challenge. You're going to be in some kind of conflict almost every play because of, like you said, you named them all. You're going to have to play sideline to sideline, with the spread offenses. You're going to get conflict with the RPO as far as, running pass. And then, you have to be able to defend some pretty good athletes in space. Most people are going to try to find a mismatch. So a lot of times you'll see, some of their high-end receivers or the teams that you play, they line them up as a slot receiver or they put them in as a boundary two so they can match them up against linebackers. So it's a challenge. I think it's difficult. I joke with them all the time. I said, man, I'm glad I played linebacker in the years I did because I don't know if I'd be playing linebacker right now. But, it's part of the job description. And I think we got some high-end guys that are athletic enough and, play the game the right way that they put themselves in position to make plays and give us an opportunity to play good defense.
Patrick and Reese.
Coach, with Elijah Herring, it looks like he's sort of played sort of a situational role the first few games of the season. How's he done in that role, and how's he sort of come along, maybe being expanded and maybe get some more regular rotational snaps?
It's all, everything is earned. We try not to give anybody anything. He earned the spot when we go into our 4-3 package to be the Sam linebacker, and that's kind of his role right now. And he's still growing as a, every down stack Mike linebacker. Still some of the youthful mistakes show up, which is to be expected. But he plays the right way, plays with a lot of energy, and he's getting better every week. It's just, how it is. Sometimes it's like rookies in the NFL. There's a reason they don't play a lot. Same reason with freshmen in college. That experience means a lot, and every day he's getting better. But there's always, there's one or two things you got to keep working on. And I think with experience and time, he's going to be, very, very good. Like I always say, you want him to be, perfect yesterday. That's how us, coaches are. But it's a process. It's a process. But he's got a great attitude and is getting better every day.
Great question. He stole mine. But to go off of that, when you see him get his first sack at the Akron game, what kind of emotions does that make you feel when you see a guy get his first career sack and you get to go over and talk to him about it?
I don't think I've ever had that question before. For myself, individually, I'm always happy for all these guys. I think college football now, we ask so much of these kids 24/7. It's almost a full-time job, and it's nothing different than what's going on around the country. So when they are able to have some success and go out there and, in front of, a packed stadium and make those kind of plays, I'm the happiest guy in the building because I feel like that they've earned it. Football is a tough sport for tough people. It's not for everybody. So when they can go out there and make plays and, play at a high level, I'm the happiest guy in the building. Sometimes it doesn't look that way, obviously, but, I'm always 100% for these kids because I know how much time and effort they put into, trying to be the best players they can be.
Last question, Jimmy.
Coach, going back to Brent's question about how versatile offenses are, right now with linebackers, is it more important to have play recognition as opposed to great speed?
Obviously, as a coach, you want both, all right? You want both. I always say this with kids, players that have great speed. The speed is beneficial when you have great play recognition. If you're a very fast player and you're going the wrong direction, you're going further away from the play. So we want to have both. So play recognition is always going to be, you know, at the premium as far as when you're dealing with linebackers. Obviously, play recognition, and you top that with high-end athletic ability and speed, you're going to see it and get there faster, which makes the defense better. But, you know, that play recognition part is always important because, like I said, if you're a great athlete and your eyes are in the wrong spot and you're going in the wrong direction, you're just getting to the wrong spot faster.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thank you, guys.